I am Kellie LaMonica, and this is my fifth year as the school counselor at Oakbrooke. Before this, I taught second grade for about 7 years in Little Rock. So, I wanted to spend a little time discussing some tips to help your children be more successful at school. I really wanted to focus on losing because a big part of success in school is learning how to lose. So how will your child experience loss and or failure at school? Well, it's important to note here that perception is key. Things that we as adults don't necessarily classify as losing may still be perceived as losing by our children, especially in the younger grades. So things like not being first in line. Well, if you've got 20 kids, only one can be first in line, but your child may take that as losing. Not being called on, same kind of thing. The teachers do a really good job at trying to call on everybody at different periods throughout the day. But if your child is not called on when they really want to answer, they may perceive that as a loss. Making mistakes, struggling to complete tasks, being corrected, all of those things can be perceived as loss. Even if it's something little like, hey, you forgot to get your lunchbox. Some kids can personalize that and feel that that is a loss or a failure. Not getting an award, someone else receiving a compliment, educational games, classroom tests, recess games. I play Kahoot a lot with kids after I do a lesson. Your kids may have come home and talked about that with you. But in Kahoot, they get on their iPads or Chromebooks and they play a game with me about the lesson that I just taught. Well, there's only one overall winner, but we focus on, are you getting the questions right? So instead of did you win the whole game, I focus on the goal is to get mainly green screens, to get mainly correct answers, because only one kid is actually going to win first place. So I try and give them a focus that they can achieve by getting a green screen. So how can you help? Well, this is one of the most important things you can do at home to help your child be successful at school, in my personal opinion. Let your child lose. And I know that's painful. It hurts a little bit to say, but our babies need to learn to lose. They need to know that their value and their worth is not connected to winning and losing. They need to know that parents and families are still going to love and support them regardless of winning or losing. And I'm a mom. I get it. Our nature is to protect our babies no matter what. It's hard to watch them lose, but letting them lose is so valuable. It's a skill that our kids will need to know the rest of their life. So a way you can do this is just by playing games. So if you play 3-4 games of Uno, make them lose one of those games. Focus on their behavior during that loss, not the actual loss itself, and model appropriate behavior when you lose. So don't make your kid lose 4 out of those 4 games. That will be a nightmare. But let them lose 1 or 2, because in life they're going to lose at things or perceive loss pretty frequently. And so let them lose 1 game. And then gradually, once they're okay with losing that 1 game, let them lose 2 out of 4 games. And then you model appropriate behavior when you lose the game. So it's kind of like if a child is playing t-ball and they see their coach throw clipboards and kick fences if they lose a game, your child is going to think that that's acceptable and appropriate behavior. And they will likely model that when they experience loss. So we want to be good models when we lose so that your child can imitate our behavior. So how can you help at home a little more specifically? Play games. That's the easiest thing I can advise you to do. Play I Spy, play races, Uno, Connect Four. There's so many games you can play that will help your child practice losing. Give them challenges. So again, as a parent, it is miserable to watch your baby struggle, but it's absolutely joyous to watch them succeed after they struggle. Now, I'm not asking you to give unrealistic challenges. Don't ask your 5-year-old to find a right angle of some shape, but give them appropriate challenges, tying their shoes, riding a bike. Maybe they know 2 plus 2, challenge them with 2 plus 2 plus 2. It will make a huge difference in their behavior and their success at school. Another is to discuss their feelings. So normalize those feelings. Doing this at a young age will really carry over. So things like, I see that you're embarrassed because you lost. Tell me why. Tell me how you feel about that. So discussing those feelings tied to their loss will help quite a bit. So doing all these things at home can make it so much easier for your child when they lose or when they perceive a loss at school.